What the Evernote hack means for passwords, a new do not track law is making its rounds, and the copyright alert system is now in effect. All that and more, this time on ThreatWire. Hello and welcome to ThreatWire. I'm Shannon Morse, and my co-host Darren Kitchen is still hacking his way across Europe, obviously. This is your summary of what's threatening security, privacy, and internet freedom. We'll begin with Darren. Take it away.
Thanks, Shannon. Now, we have previously talked about Google's transparency report. It is a twice yearly report that Google releases that includes information on government agencies and courts around the world that request user data, and that user data being things like email, messages, IP addresses, browsing activity, documents, and things of that nature. And previously we've reported on how, well, basically government snooping is on the rise. Now, the second half of 2012 numbers are in, and user data has increased over the previous half. In fact, this has actually been the trend since 2009 when Google began reporting these figures, but that's not the most interesting part. You see, previously Google omitted national security letter requests. These involve a gag order, and they're under the US Patriot Act, as well as FISA orders, and now the report includes ballpark figures for these requests. And when I say ballpark, I really mean ballpark. Google is reporting that since 2009, it has received anywhere between 0 and 999 such requests for anywhere between 1,000 and 1,999 user accounts. Now, there was an increase in 2010 where that number was between 2,000 and 2,999 users. Recipients of national security letters are subject to gag orders. In fact, the company isn't even allowed to express that such a letter even exists. And yes, this is the world we live in. It should be noted, though, that information obtained through a national security letter would be transactional. So that is to say, who emailed or called whom, and not necessarily the contents of the email or the call. For that, the government would have to use one of a multitude of other subpoenas, warrants, or other warrantless means to get such information. But still, what EFF reiterates is that Google's transparency report just highlights how little we actually know about these national security letters. Personally, I view this as a win for privacy. Anything that adds to transparency, and I really would hope that other organizations, other companies would kind of follow suit with Google and open up this kind of data, because it's really that kind of stuff that just opens people's eyes into realizing how much of everything that we do day to day is just monitored.
Thank you so much, Darren. Now, Evernote, the online note-taking and saving service, was hacked. Usernames and email addresses and encrypted passwords were all leaked. So, Evernote is forcing a site-wide password reset for all of their accounts. Now, they did mention in their blog post that they found no evidence that payment information was accessed. And Evernote does go on to explain some easy ways to protect your online passwords and states that they emailed all of their customers. To which I reply, where was my email? Because I didn't get one. The only reason I knew about it was because of some news source, and then I went to your website and changed my password. Never got an email, so what's up, Evernote? You forgot about me. Now, the Evernote data breach does spur some concern, though. While the passwords accessed were hashed and salted, encrypted one way, given enough time, the encryption could be reverse engineered. So, who is voting for two-factor authentication? That would be me. And next, the Do Not Track bill. A new piece of legislation is currently making its rounds in the Senate, could spur new debate on the Do Not Track laws in the United States. This bill, proposed by Senators John J. Rockefeller, a Democrat from West Virginia, and Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat from Connecticut, could require companies to honor Do Not Track and opt-out requests from its users and consumers. Now, this Digital Advertising Alliance, the DAA, disagrees with the bill. They say that companies are already using their own program for online advertising, and this allows consumers to opt out of any tracking. The ITIF states that the new bill would harm internet companies that depend on tracking to deliver targeted advertising. Daniel Castro of the ITIF stated in an email to Infoworld.com, The success of the internet is rooted in the availability of access to free ad-supported online content and services. The Do Not Track bill, cited as the Do Not Track Online Act of 2013, would also allow the FTC to take action against companies who do not comply and make the companies destroy any personal information that they wouldn't need for their site. And next up, the copyright alert system. So hey, torrenters, I know you're out there. The copyright alert system began rolling out last week on several major US ISPs, so if you're torrenting stuff, you might want to cut it out. AT&T, Cablevision, Comcast, Time Warner Cable, Verizon, just to name the few that were listed. These guys are all on a new system which is backed by the Obama administration. It allows these ISPs to disrupt your online access if they suspect you are downloading illegal content. Each ISP is going to react in kind of different ways. You're going to receive one notification, a second notification, a third, and a fourth. All these notices of copyright infringement from the ISP. And then, on your fifth and sixth notification, they're going to tack on these mitigation measures. After several known illegal downloads and acknowledgements, their mitigation measures can include slowing down your data speeds, redirecting you to a landing page so they can educate and inform you of illegal content downloading, and eventual suspension of your account. Hooray! Now, Verizon, Cablevision, and Comcast have all released details about their mitigation measures available right on their company websites. Now, if a customer feels that a measure was made in fault of the ISP, they can file for an independent review with a $35 processing fee, hooray, which could be refunded if the challenge is successful. Good luck with that. Now, the system does not keep a copyright holder from suing a customer, though, for up to $150,000 in claim damages. So, what do you guys think? Guilty until proven otherwise? Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. And next up, our feedback. Now, last week we asked you how you feel about disclosure, and our comment of the week comes from Diabolical Overlord. And I am okay with the overlords. He says, commonly there is a culture whereby people in places of authority believe that if you don't talk about a problem, that it must not exist. This is the reason we have the security issues that we do. If the interest is in actually solving the problem, that culture must be held to account. Therefore, it's reasonable, even imperceptive, that all exploits are exploited and machines compromised. The more public these exploits are, the more they will be brought into the light. Hiding is not security. And that's a very good point, so thank you so much. Now, this week we'd like to know how you feel about the copyright alert system. Do you feel strongly one way or another? Is this a smart move, or should we have legitimate concerns? What's going to happen, for example, for companies with open wireless internets? Now, let us know in the comments below. And remember, you can always find all the ways to subscribe over at threatwire.org and get involved in our Google Plus community. It's really exciting over there, and that's where all the conversation continues all week. And with that, I'm Shannon Morris, and for Darren Kitchen, we'll see you on the internets. Bye-bye.